Hey everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel God Will Do It For You. My name is Steven. I hope everyone's having a great day. Sorry for missing Monday. Normally don't miss Monday at all, but there was a storm that lasted all day long yesterday. And when I say it was loud to the point where I can hear it in the background on the camera when I was in the car, when I was inside. So I was like, you know what? I'll just do it tomorrow when the weather is not nicer. It's nice and sunny. It's pretty much going to be in the 70s and 80s all week. So we are good to go. What we're going to be talking about today is the consequences of impatience. Because a lot of the times when we're waiting on the things that we desire in life, whether that be marriage, job promotion, more income, better health, a better physique, whatever the case, sometimes we get impatient and we want to take things into our own hands. So for instance, let's say you have weight loss goals and you want to be healthier. But now you have people taking prescriptions like Ozempic to accelerate the process. And then now they're realizing that there's adverse consequences for going a lot quicker than what the body should to shed weight. Same thing for job promotion. You might say, you know what, this isn't paying enough. I can clearly do the manager's job. I'm going to try to brown nose. I'm going to try to get real cozy and smoozy with everybody. Well, it could backfire, and now you're known as the butt kisser, and people don't take you serious because they clearly see that your objective is to gain at the job. So they see that you're clearly giving them more attention, being more chatty, yes ma'am type of person. So that way you could try to get ahead. Not only did you just mess yourself up and probably delay the process, but now you have a reputation of doing so. Same thing with relationship. Let's say you're in a relationship with somebody. You're like, hey, this is a great person, but there's still things about them that you're just like, if I had it my way, I would get this type of person. But because they're a great person, I'm okay with sticking this out and seeing where it goes. Not only to, in the future, you run across the type of person that you truly want, they're actually interested in you. Guess what? You're not available. Not only are you not available, you're noticing things that show incompatibility in the current relationship that you're in. Now you're sitting there being regretful or like, why didn't I just trust my instinct? Whatever the case may be. Same thing with my food business or music. I could dump a lot of money into promotion, trying to inflate my numbers, to try to get it to look like something that is currently not at yet, only to get stuck in an endless cycle of doing that because naturally it's a gradual growth, not just an automatic explosion of attention towards these things. All these things, and there's many more examples of ways that you could try to control things and jump ahead. It all happens at the right specified time that God has set for a reason. For a reason. So there's several examples in the Bible. I'll go over 3. If you look at the book of Genesis, and we have the story of Abraham with Sarah and Hagar, and how Sarah was like, you know what, God told you that you're going to have the promised child, but I know my womb is no longer active. But we have this Egyptian servant, Hagar. I can give you to her and let you go inside of her and conceive the child, and that is more than likely the child for us. Well, the issue is with them jumping ahead thinking that, well, maybe this is what we have to do in order to get this result because we're getting old, we're tired of waiting, blah, 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 blah. Hagar felt some type of way about Sarah wanting that baby from her, because now it seems like Hagar probably more than likely fell in love with the baby, carrying it and things of that nature. And then Abraham told Sarah, well, this is your servant, you can do with her as you please. So now you have Sarah mistreating technically the birth and caretaker of Abraham's child, which created all types of turmoil. But guess what? Thankfully, God was able to turn things around, because it says right here, yep, right here, 1 second, there we go. that God told, God came to her and said, hey, why are you out here alone? And she had to let God know what was going on. And he said, go back to them and serve them as you're supposed to, but I'm going to take care of that child. The child's going to be just fine. Not only did Abraham delay his blessing, but he created another situation. So sometimes God will allow us to make our decision. Like, you know what? You want to jump ahead? Go right ahead. And he'll allow us to live with it, deal with it. And then, luckily, we have a God that doesn't change his mind. He will still come through and give us what he promised. Same thing with King Saul. Now, you have Saul in here. He was going to be king supreme over Israel in the book of Samuel. And all he had to do was wait for Samuel so that way they can do the ritual. And Saul would have been king over Israel for many generations to come as God promised. But if you go to chapter 13 of 1 Samuel and start at verse 8, it says that he waited for 7 days, the time appointed by Samuel, but Samuel did not come to Gilgal. So I apologize if I say the name wrong. And the people were scattering from him. So Saul said, bring the burnt offering here to me and the peace offerings. So the one thing about Saul is Saul was so full of himself because people weren't standing next to him and just looking at him like, okay, well, he's not on, this isn't happening on time, whatever the case may be. And so in order to keep the public attention, he went ahead and acted in his own strength. So then it says, Saul said, bring to me the burnt offering and the peace offerings. And he offered the burnt offering. As soon as he finished offering the burnt offering, behold, Samuel came. So a lot of the times in life, the blessing is right around the corner. We're getting ready to experience what God has for us. And then sometimes we fumble the ball, because that's exactly what happened. And then that's when Samuel had to say to him, what have you done? Like, why did you do that? He said, you have done foolishly. You have not kept the command of the Lord your God with which he commanded you. For then the Lord would have established your kingdom over Israel forever. But now your kingdom shall not continue. So now you lost it. So in Saul's case, more responsibility, the bigger the chastisement of consequences, the way he has to deal with you, because if you're going to be disobedient and I've given you status, the prestige, the ability to have the power to lead people, I need you to follow the instructions as I tell you to do so. The last example would be the Israelites going into the promised land. He said, go in there and take it. They were like, okay, man, go check it out. Only 2 of them came back saying we could do it. The rest of them were like, man, there's giants in there. Even though they had items from the promised land. So they show people that, hey, this is what they got there. The Lord your God said, go in there and take it. But because of their disobedience and them cowering and listening to the majority of the spies that went over to check out the land, they delayed their blessing for 40 years. Don't get impatient. Be obedient to exactly what God instructs you to do in life. Because I kid you not, some of the things that I've had to do, especially that year, where he told me to sell my music equipment, the main audio interface, which is the main part, he said, sell this and focus on the food business. It hurt me, but I did it. I didn't understand why he told me to do it, but now I understand why. I realized that I was actually hindering progress because of the habits and things that I had at that time. Once the habits were gone, and then he said go ahead and go back into it a year later, the crazy thing was I was even better. And I didn't touch it for a year. I was better. So sometimes we don't understand why God tells us to do what he does. Because believe it or not, I mean, that's the same thing the Israelites felt. They did not understand why God told them to take the long way to get to the promised land when they really could have just went a certain way. But because God was like, y'all aren't ready for some of the stuff that y'all would have to go through if y'all took the more productive route, I'm going to have to take y'all this way. But going this way is going to build trust. You're going to understand who I am. And all you have to do is have Samuel be obedient to my instructions, and then we will be fine. And even Samuel, in his disobedience for being impatient about the water and the rock, his consequence of striking the rock cost him the ability to go into the promised land. Don't be that person that is so close to something. You're on the cusp of something. You clearly see that God is blessing your life and keeping you in a way that you're like, okay, I have a chance to make it. But because it's not happening in the time frame that you wish it would, you like, you know what? I gotta help God out. Maybe this is what he meant. I'm not hearing anything from him. Maybe this is what he meant. Maybe I have to put more effort into what's going on other than what God has instructed me to do so. And you tear it up. This video is very applicable to me because I'm at that point now where I'm like, I know where my skill level is with my food and my music. I know it's there. I know it meets the standard. I get plenty of feedback and I hear what I hear as far as my music goes. If I try to do something foolishly, not knowing that God could be on the cusp of getting ready to do something, I could mess it all up. I'm going to be patient. Please, y'all. Please, please, please trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding. It's for a reason. We don't get it until we go through it and then we understand. The understanding and the clarity is coming that you pray for, if that's what you're praying for. But even to reach that level of clarity or that place of clarity, you have to keep moving forward. You have to be patient. Walk in faith. I walk by faith, not by sight. Stay true to the path that you've chosen and understand that you've been through all that you've been through to get you to this point where now you feel like you might have to take things into your own hands. Look at the consistency of the stories of people doing it in the Bible. They were getting ready to receive God's promise and they all got a little restless towards the end. Don't do it. We have too many examples in this Bible that teaches us the consequences of trying to jump ahead and not being patient of God. All we have to do is put our trust in him and everything will work out the way it should. And that is it. It's not really more of the type of videos that I do because I'm like, hey, motivation is good to find and seek on YouTube, but sometimes when you are getting ready to go across something in life, sometimes you just need that, God, give me a sign, God, that I shouldn't be doing this or that I should do this, and then miraculously this video will pop across your page. I don't care about the view count on these videos. I know what YouTube can do. This page could blow up whenever they feel like doing it. It's just a lot of Christian pages out there, so you got to go through their system, and then also God's going to be the one that ultimately decides, okay, it's time for people to really know what's going on with you as he continues to develop me. But if you run across this video, trust me, it's no mistake. Just be patient. We're almost there, and everything's going to be all right. So I hope this video's been a blessing. If you feel led to like, share, subscribe, definitely do so, or even leave a comment about a similar situation that you could be in. But just know, at the end of the tunnel is the promised land. And if that's where we're trying to be, and if we put in the work, and all we have to do at this point is be obedient and be patient, then trust me, we're almost there. Ride it out, and I look forward to hearing about your stories of your success. So again, I hope this video's been a blessing. Have a great day. Until next time.